Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when we feel like it o'clock again. I'm Pearl of Wisdom. And you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. Coming off two fantastic episodes where we had Edmonton Journal writer David Staples. David Staples had been a writer for the Edmonton Journal, what is a major newspaper here in the Edmonton area where I'm from. For 30 years. I used to watch that guy I used to read that guy when I was a kid, growing up, loving hockey. He's a great writer. You should go check it out. Fantastic video that we did. Also, another video from Jamie Baskow, Philadelphia Flyers insider. You watch that video and just look at how much this guy knows, being inside the room. He does interviews and hangs out with like Carter Hart and all of those guys. And he gives you a really good indication of what's going on in Philadelphia. And he says something about Nolan Patrick there you might find interesting. As far as I know, it's like really the first I'd heard of it. I didn't hear it anywhere else. So you might want to check that out. Anyways, boys and girls, it's been full of frolic. Frolic abound. I have frolic pearls here for you all. There you go. Helen ground those up this morning. Frolic pearls. I'm going to have another fellow here. His name is Ron. He's somebody that came to me through Basco. He's an up-and-coming podcaster, and we're going to do some more Philadelphia talk. If any of you are interested in podcasting, if you're a writer and you would like to get out there and get people to know who you are, message me, let me know, put me in the comment section. We can work on something. We can get together and do some more videos. So let's get to it. What I'm going to be talking about today is a rumor that came from Top Shelf Hockey. Great Rumours and information hockey channel. I don't know the guy's name. He doesn't say his name. But I watch it, and he has rumors on there all the time. I really enjoy it. They're talking about it, and he's talking about a big rumor. Now, he got this rumor from other sources. What I love about him is he looks at all the sources, finds very valid sources, and then talks about these rumors. And the rumor was, and it's been all the flutter, it's been all the buzz, is that Johnny Gaudreau going to the New Jersey Devils. He's from New Jersey, by the way. That's the reason why. And I thought about that rumor. It makes some sense. The deal is, what happens is, okay, let's start off with Taylor Hall. Okay, Taylor Hall is from the Alberta area. And if you look at some of the places that Taylor Hall might go outside of the Alberta area, and the big one that everybody's talking about is the Colorado Avalanche, which makes sense. They've got the cap room. They could add a guy like Taylor Hall. I'm sure they'll offer him a contract, but he's going to be very steep. They've got the cap room though. The other there's two problems with the Avalanche getting Taylor Hall, although I'm not sure that it would bother them too much, is that you have the expansion draft coming on. And if you add a Taylor Hall to that lineup, you're going to lose a very significant player in expansion, or you're going to have to trade him for a pick. And one of those players could be like Tyson Jost or Andre Burakovsky, because you'll have McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, Donskoy, Comfer, Burakovsky, if you decide to go with him, and Nichushkin. So you're going to lose a very significant player like JT Compher or something like that if you take Hall now. Not to mention he's going to be $10 million a year. Okay, even with that said, I think it's possible that the Avalanche would still be satisfied with taking on a Taylor Hall in their lineup, the way their lineup works. The question is, does Taylor Hall want to go there? For competitive sake, I would say yes. But Taylor Hall, I am from Edmonton, as I just mentioned. I played for the Edmonton Oilers. And let me say, when they traded him to New Jersey, he was pissed. He was very disappointed. He's an Alberta guy. He loves it in Alberta. He wants to play in Alberta. He won't be able to get signed by the Edmonton Oilers. But the Calgary Flames, on the other hand, I think would be lining up to get a guy like Taylor Hall, except for one problem. Taylor Hall plays the left side. Johnny Gaudreau plays the left side. Matthew Tkachuk plays the left side. Those are their three. That would be their three top left wingers, which they would be paying a significant amount of money to the left side of their lineup. Now, if you know hockey, wingers are not what you want to be blowing all your wad on. Okay, Johnny Gaudreau is on a very team-friendly contract now at $6.7 million. However, he's only got 2 more years left at that price, and then they're going to have to re-sign him again. Then there's another issue. Johnny Gaudreau, I watched a lot of Calgary games last year. I watch all the games, but because I live in the Alberta area, Calgary comes up a lot. And to me, it seems like Johnny Gaudreau looks extremely frustrated. Now, that might have been just about himself, but that's not the energy I got. I got it more about, it just seems to me that Johnny wants to move on. The way he talks to the media, the way he expresses himself, the way he's playing, the frustration that he has. One of those frustrations could be that he has a centerman in Sean Monahan that he just can't seem to find chemistry with. And one of the reasons for that, and I've been saying this for a long time, is that Sean Monahan probably is not what you call a prototypical number 1 center. And Johnny is from the United States. He's not from Canada. He's from New Jersey. So this is where the whole idea comes that they sign Hall, which is going to be expensive, 10, 11 million. They've got about 20 million in cap space next year, but they have some holes to fill. So paying Johnny Gaudreau at that much would not be beneficial. And if there's been talk that Johnny's like, if you can kind of move me on, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd like to go back closer to my home, preferably New Jersey. So let's look at New Jersey. And I wouldn't doubt that this conversation has happened, honestly. The problem is going to New Jersey, they've got all the cap room in the world to take them. I imagine, also I didn't mention, I imagine when Calgary's return is they would take a right winger because they kind of need to fill that right wing role. But honestly, because expansion coming up, I'm not sure that they want to fill it. They've got Mangiapane playing there, who's probably playing a little higher than he has to. But here's the other thing about Calgary. The Calgary fans love their Alberta players as well, and they like their Canadian players. And there has been some scuttlebutt that Johnny has not been treated well by the fans there. And I'm not gonna say. I'm just saying that Calgary fans in general could be. That's all I'm saying. Like, I love Don Cherry. One of the Don Cherry's old saying. Don Cherry's old saying. Not saying, just saying. You know what I mean? Could be. And if that's the case, and he feels like he's dissatisfied there, and he'd like to go to New Jersey if he could. The problem is in New Jersey is they've got Nikita Gusev, who will be on his last year of his contract next year. So they could just let Nikita Gusev go after that because he's a UFA. They've got Jack Hughes. Everybody knows that, the center that they got last year. It looks like a Kane-like talent, but Patrick Kane from Chicago Blackhawks, but playing in the center position. They have Travis Zajac, who's older, Nico Hischier. This is the future core coming up, and Jesper Bratt, who looked fantastic at the end of the year last year. The unfortunate thing is all of these players are small. Johnny's 5'9". You add another player at this 5'9", 5'10" size and stature level. I mean, none of these players play. Even Nico Hischier, who's a fantastic centerman, he's not what you call a imposing figure, even though he's 6'1". He plays a perimeter style. I'm not sure they want to add another perimeter guy like that. Maybe they offer up Nikita Gusev back, but he's a left winger as well. It doesn't seem like the best fit for me, is what I'm saying. Maybe New Jersey just wants that New Jersey guy. You know, they know, like Gaudreau, if he's playing and he's happy, he could be a 100-point player. It's something they would have to think a lot about. I'm just not sure there's many fits in return, and I'm not sure there's a fit here. If they don't want a Gaudreau, why would they want another guy back unless it was Jack Hughes that's smaller in stature? And I'm pretty positive New Jersey's not going to give up Jack Hughes in this trade. They have some first-round picks they could offer. Take him on and just go with the young, small team. I'm betting that that's just not the case. It just doesn't seem like the right fit. So where could he go if we're going to do it that way? I looked at the New York Islanders. The New York Islanders, unfortunately, don't really have much to give in return. They don't have their first next year. They could offer their first, or this year. They could offer their first next year, I suppose. Not much else. It just doesn't seem like the right fit there as well. I imagine he would go to an Eastern team. Here's another thing that people don't realize, that when you're doing trades like this, Gaudreau has given a lot to this team, and how you treat that player is going to affect your room in the future. It's also going to affect if you want to sign free agents, such as Taylor Hall. Because if they see you mistreating players and just sending them and saying, I don't care where you want to go, we just want to get back as much back in return as we can. If that's the type of energy you're sending out to free agents, it's a lot tougher to get them. And that all is included in this way of making these trades or making these decisions. Johnny Gaudreau also has, as of next year, has a limited no trade clause. This year, he can go anywhere. So if there is a question mark of whether Johnny Gaudreau is going to be a fit going forward with Calgary, this would be the year to do it. I looked at the New York Islanders, didn't fit. Looked at the New York Rangers, so he's closer to New Jersey. They've just got way too much talent there. Taking him on just wouldn't make financial sense or room sense. I looked at the Columbus Blue Jackets, but that's a little further from New Jersey than he'd probably be looking at. There is some possibility there, except for the fact that they also don't have their first overall pick. All of this being said, the team that just comes crawling, like just screams out to me, that has the cap room, has a very solid draft pick, number 8th overall pick this year, and is desperate to get better, is the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo is in the New York area, not too far away from where his home would be. It would give him an opportunity to play with a true number 1 center in Jack Eichel. Would make Jack Eichel extremely happy to play with a guy with a set of mitts like Gaudreau. Jeez, that would be a fantastic combination. Maybe might help out with Skinner and his shots with Gaudreau passing the puck like that. You could put a lineup of Skinner, Jack Eichel, and Gaudreau as your first line. That would be fantastic. And the great thing for Buffalo is, coming the expansion here, they're not really in a big problem to add another player. They could add another player and not lose that bad of a player. I had it figured out. I'm not going to tell it to you here. You can go look it up. They wouldn't lose that bad of a player. He fits, is what I'm trying to say. Their second line then could be Sam Reinhart, Marcus Johansson, and Dominic Cahoon or Victor Olofsson. Not a bad second line. And they desperately need that kind of a player to get a spark in this lineup next year. They really need to get close to the playoffs next year. For guys like Eichel, for the morale of this whole organization, to tell you the honest truth. So what could they give up? Well, Like I said, Calgary doesn't need to take anybody back here. They've got enough depth in their lineup. They made the playoffs last year. They could add Taylor Hall, trade a Gaudreau, and bring in depth for the future, preferably near future, that would satisfy and leave them some cap space to add if they have to. So they could take on that first pick, 8th overall. And I think Buffalo might be able to give it up for Gaudreau. That 8th overall pick could give you a player for Calgary that's going to be ready really soon, like a Holtz or a Perfetti for the second line, for another second line center for that second line that would be ready probably in another year or two. Wouldn't go on cap space, wouldn't need to worry about expansion. Maybe sweeten the pot a little bit, because there's a guy named Lawrence Pilot who has been saying he's going to go back to, I believe it's Sweden. I'm going to look it up here right away. Sweden. Why? Because Buffalo has a lot of depth on their D, and he's having a very difficult time finding his way into the lineup. Now on Calgary is probably going to lose a few defensemen because they're making room for some younger defensemen. Travis Hamonic and TJ Brody don't look like they're going to be back. Eric Gustafsson doesn't look like he's going to be back. Rasmus Anderson and Oliver Shylington are going to get a really good shot to get prime playoff playing time. Valimaki's supposed to be back. Then they have Hanifin, Giordano, and possibly signing Derek Forbort, and Pilot would have a much better chance of making a lineup here. So Pilot and their first overall pick, Pilot, however you want to say it, for Gaudreau. They signed Taylor Hall, which is going to cost them about $10 million a year. They get their Alberta boy. Gaudreau gets to go off and be closer to his home in New Jersey. And they get a player Calgary gets a player from their first overall pick that can play pretty darn soon and add a lot of significant depth to their lineup. I like it. That's where I think it would happen. And who knows, maybe it will. And I will look like a genius. No, probably not. Not look like one. For like a moment in time, it may be like, wow, look at it. Perlo came up with that. But it was fun, isn't it? That's the main thing. We're having fun. Eric Card in the comment section. Comment section, everybody. Please hit the button, hit the bell, and I'll send you a My NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace helicopter to your door, Pearlocopter to your door, from Hernandez or Melissa, signed by me, by the way. And I'm now getting like NHL writers doing this shit with me, so I'm little more than small time, maybe. Have a great day. Lots of love to you. Like button like this.